He kualoha
நெஞ்சினிலே 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 ஊஞ்சலே നാണങ്ങൾ എൻ കണ്ണിലേ
പുഞ്ചിരി തഞ്ചി കുഞ്ചിക്കോ മുന്തിരി മുത്തൊളി ചിന്തിക്കോ മഞ്ചണി വർണ്ണ ചുന്ദരി വാവേ തങ്കിണ്ണക്ക തകതിമിയാടും തങ്കനിലാവേ പുഞ്ചിരി തഞ്ചി കുഞ്ചിക്കോ മുന്തിരി മുത്തൊളി ചിന്തിക്കോ മഞ്ചണി വർണ്ണ ചുന്ദരി വാവേ തങ്കിണ്ണക്ക തകതിമിയാടും തങ്കനിലാവേ
നെഞ്ചിനിലെ നെഞ്ചിനിലെ ഊഞ്ചലേ നാണങ്ങൾ എൻ കണ്ണിലേ சிவந்ததே என் மஞ்சளே
And hope you enjoyed that taiko drumming there. It's so mesmerizing and taking back to my own memories of the Hawaiian Islands when I was there. Oh, wow, 12 years ago now for my East West Center program. Aloha again, and welcome to day 2 of the 2021 East West Center Alumni International Conference. This is the bridge to 2022 virtual mini conference and awards. I'm Ramy Inocencio, your co-MC, and as I mentioned, I'm an alum of the Asia Pacific Leadership Program from 2009 and the East West Center Journalism Fellows from 2019. I'm also the Asia correspondent for CBS News, and I'm coming to you from a very rainy Hong Kong today. But Oyanga, I hope it's sunnier and happier and brighter where you are. I expect it is.
That's right. Hi, everyone. I'm Oyanga Patax, also your co-MC. I'm here in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. It has beautiful sun and rainbow today, as usual. And so I am also alumni from Changing Faces Women's Leadership Program and a graduate degree fellow. And I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Hawaii. We want to share that we had over 200 alumni join yesterday. So thank you for staying connected with our ohana. And we're so happy to have you back again today.
Right. And if you're joining us for the very first time today, the reason the theme of our conference, Bridge to 2022, is because, well, I mean, basically does those two things. It provides a connection, really, though, to what's going to be happening next year. And also it really serves as a bridge to East West Center alums, our ohana, our staff, especially during the past year and a half during COVID when we've all been stuck at home. Stuck inside safely. And it bridges us to 2022 because that will be the summer in-person EWC and EWCA International Conference in Honolulu. Hopefully everyone is already prepping to buy their tickets to get on over to Hawaii, where Oyanga, that's where you are.
That's right. So we are also so happy that many of you who wouldn't usually be able to join our biannual in-person conference virtually and from the comfort and safety of your own home or office.
Right. Okay, so let's go through a few housekeeping tips in case you're joining us for the first time. Since we have some new attendees, we'll walk you through this conference hosting platform. We'll go over some tips so you can be more comfortable also with navigating around. So we're going to put some visuals on the screen so you can understand how this all works and how you can navigate. First off, this platform is called Welcome, so that's pretty straightforward.
Right. It's pretty easy to navigate around, but if you have a technical issues, you can navigate to the help tab to request help in the chat box or by emailing us at support@experiencewelcome.com.
Right. And if you're looking for the help tab, you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, we've got your back. Just navigate there, click help, and you can type something in the chat box below and then press send. Also, if you haven't completed your profile yet so people can see you, you can totally upload your photo and your affiliation. There are also chat functions with others. At the bottom of the main stage, you can see that there's a volume scrolling button. So if you're not hearing anything on the stage, you want to go ahead and raise that, or if it's a little bit too soft for you, you can put it to the max just in case the microphones aren't picking up some of our speakers or vice versa. So definitely keep aware of that. Also, if you need closed captioning, look at the right-hand bottom of your screen. You see the CC box there? That's closed captioning. And that means you can get English text on the screen so you can read what we're saying too. Yeah, so just play around with the controls, all pretty straightforward here. But if you have any questions, as Oyanga said, you can just click help and someone can help you out.
And when it comes to video in the main stage, like where we are now, you won't be seen, but when we go to the breakouts and rooms, you will be. And you can chat with anyone at any time. You can post messages in the public chat room. You can also direct message people privately. Just go to the DM tab in the chat box and type someone's name.
Yeah, have fun there too. But also, of course, we want you to focus on the main topics of day 2 here, and we're going to go through that very quickly for the agenda of the day. First off, we're going to have concurrent core conversations on misinformation in the media. You can see that on your screen there, pandemics and planetary health and misinformation in the media. After that, we'll do EWC programs today. We'll learn about the next 60 years. We've already gone through the past 60 years of the East-West Center. We'll learn about the future and focus on programs that you want to potentially be a part of. And then we'll do reconnection rooms by chapters and geographical areas. And if you joined us yesterday, this will be just a little bit different. This time we're going to be going into Zoom rooms. Don't think up too much about it now. We're going to send you the link later on in the chat, but just so you're aware, it's a little bit different. So we'll be in Zoom on that and not here on Welcome. But before we do all of that, we are going to be doing the East-West Center and East-West Center Alumni Awards presentation. So let's go ahead and kick that off right now. So kicking that off, we're going to start with honoring a group of people who really represent the talents, the passions, and the diversity of our ohana around the world. And you can see on your screen that there are 4 award categories that we're going to be having. I'm going to describe each award, announcing the awardee, and then we'll hear from them directly. And you can also learn more about the awardees if you navigate to the chat right now. We're posting a link so you can learn more about them. All right, so for the first one, we are going to be doing something that is a brand new award. This is the East-West Center Alumni 21st Century Outstanding Service Award. This is a newly founded award. It recognizes alums whose first involvement in an East-West Center program only dates back from 2000 or later, so in the past 20, 21 years or so. And it's given to someone who's given outstanding service to their community. And for this inaugural award, we look to the country of Papua New Guinea, PNG, and that goes to Dorika Dai. Dorika hails from PNG and is an alum of the East-West Center's Pacific Islands Women in Leadership program. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Aloha, I stand tall as a proud Papua New Guinean to accept and receive this most prestigious award, East-West Center Association 21st Century for Outstanding Service Award. I am blessed and honored to be counted as one of the most inspirational members of the East-West Center community. On behalf of my country, I take this opportunity to thank the East-West Center for recognizing the amazing and outstanding work in PNG. It is a testament of the great work women contribute towards the development in the Asia Pacific, especially in rural communities. Being a participant on the Pacific Islands Women in Leadership program in 2013 and 14, I joined other Pacific Island women leaders on a platform to discuss how best to bring positive changes to our countries. I thank you all for being a part of my journey. Today, we harvest the fruits of the program. This is the success and achievement of the WHEEL program. The educational professionals at the East-West Center, naming a few, Dr. Scott McLeod, Dr. Nick Parker, Lance Boyd, Gretchen Alta, Christina Monroe, Dr. Kappa from PNG, please join me to receive this award. I designed the tailoring project as a tool to reduce social problems, including gender-based violence in rural communities. Lastly, a big thank you to my family for their support, understanding, love, and in allowing me to travel miles to follow my dreams, passion, and the determination to change the lives of our people. This is my legacy and a new chapter open for this generation of women and the younger generation. As I receive this award today, I thank God for this blessing and giving me a purpose, and that is to serve others. Thank you, and God bless us all. Mahalo nui loa.
All right, and mahalo again to Dorika Dai for the inaugural service award from the East West Center. All right, we're going to go on to the EWCA Outstanding Volunteer Award. And we're not honoring just one, not two, but we're honoring three people in our East West Center ohana today. This award recognizes alumni volunteers who've given significant contributions to the programs and the activities of the East West Center Association. And the award this year goes to three people, as I said. I'll read off all three of their names, and then we'll listen to their hellos and their acceptance speeches back to back. So that's Amy Agbayani in Honolulu, Bill Armbruster in New York City, and Choko Takayama in Okinawa, Japan. Let's take a listen.
Aloha and mahalo plenty. Thank you very much for this wonderful award. It's the East West Center Volunteer Award for 2020. I'm here in my home in Kalihi. I got it in the mail along with the certificate. And while I was here, I thought I would show you a picture of myself in my first year here at the East West Center. I'm here in my Filipino native costume along with my peers, also from the Philippines. It was a very, very large group. And then I also wanted to use this opportunity to just read again what I said during the 50th anniversary of the East West Center at our East West Center Alumni Conference at the time. I have this publication which we shared to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the East West Center, and they had 50 stories. One of them is mine. And my story is here, and it was taken at the East West Center Burns Hall. And my quote is, "The foundation of my professional work and philosophy of service was formed during the time I was an East West Center scholarship student in the 1960s. And I said my most rewarding professional achievement has been mentoring young students who have become leaders serving the community with integrity." So the mentoring program that I have supported in the past few years and for which I am getting this volunteer award has been something that I have been doing for a long time, but it's really a way of giving back to the East West Center. So thank you again.
Aloha from Liberty State Park in Jersey City, New Jersey, directly across from the Statue of Liberty and New York City. 50 years ago this summer, I flew from JFK Airport to begin my studies at the East West Center. I was excited, but did not know what lay ahead. My 2 years in Hawaii turned out to be among the happiest years of my life, including, of course, the 5 months I spent in Taiwan doing language study. When I left the center in August 1973, I had no idea whether I would remain engaged with the center. I attended the occasional alumni meeting in New York, and then in the mid-90s, Gail Hawaiian McCallum, the alumni coordinator at the time, asked me to become chapter leader in New York. "Just do it for a year," she pleaded. Reluctantly, I agreed. Little did I know, but 25 years later, I would still be chapter leader. However, it has been much more rewarding than I expected. Friendships with alumni from every decade of the center's history, as well as the friendships I have made with alumni from multiple countries at East West Center alumni gatherings in Hawaii and Asia, have been extremely rewarding. I also want to salute the East West Center staff for their outstanding and hard work. Finally, I ask my fellow alumni and East West Center friends to support this vital institution in whatever ways you can. By participating in your local chapter, forming a chapter if there isn't one in your area, and also with your financial contributions. Hope we can all be together for an in-person conference in Hawaii next year. Mahalo for the Outstanding Volunteer Award.
Aloha, my respectful staff of the East-West Center and dear alumni. I feel grateful to be awarded the Volunteer Award. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the East-West Center, which granted me the honorable award. At this moment, my mind is filled with fond memory of the old days 60 years ago. In 1962, I visited Hawaii for the first time, which was called a paradise in the Pacific. I was enchanted with the beautiful nature and warm-hearted people of Hawaii. I studied at the University of Hawaii from 1962 to 1964 as East-West Center grantee. At that time, East-West Center was crowded with over 500 grantees from America, Asia, the Pacific countries. The faces of those grantees from the overseas in their native costume shone with future hope. At the center, I promoted interchange among those grantees from overseas, learned historical and cultural background of their countries and widened my international view. Since the motto of my life at the center is to serve to our community, contribute realizing peace through international cooperation and understanding. Finally, may the center promote its lofty mission. Mahalo, Takayama.
All right, that's so wonderful. Congratulations again to our 3 outstanding volunteer awardees. That was Choko Takayama in Okinawa, Bill Armbruster in New York City, and Amy Agbayani in Honolulu. I love it that it's all around the world. And there were more awards, 2 more awards that I want to share with you before I hand it off to President Richard Vilstek for some final awards. And these other awards are actually going to 2 chapter awards for their service here. These go to those who provided significant contributions to the goals and programs of the EWCA. And these go to the first, the Asia Pacific Leadership Program, near and dear to my heart, the APLP. That's represented by chapter leader Blaine Baldwin. And another chapter award goes to the Chennai, India chapter to S. Rajamani. Let's take a listen there too.
Aloha. On behalf of the Asia Pacific Leadership Program Alumni Board, our over 600 alumni members, we humbly accept this EWCA Outstanding Chapter Award. Being one of the recipients of this award is a great honor for our chapter. Our chapter is one that's spread across the globe in over 6 different continents. And we've had 19 generations of APLP classes so far. During this 2020 and 2021, we were all have to deal with this pandemic. A couple things that we did to make our alumni chapter stronger was we held virtual pahanas, which are get-togethers, rather than pahanas that we had done in the past, which were by region, like Los Angeles, Bangkok, Singapore. And these pahanas by generation were huge successes. We had over 230 participants during the April and May 2020 pahanas, which had some of these pahanas lasted over 3 hours. Another thing we did was we strengthened the Navigator, our quarterly newsletter, and had a couple of special issues devoted to COVID and how our members were dealing with it and how we were experiencing the pandemic and what resources were helping us through the time as well. We had in one of the issues volunteers who would be listeners to people that were struggling with the pandemic. So again, we greatly are humbled by this award, and we continue to hope that we will increase our outstanding membership and participation moving forward. Mahalo. どうもありがとうございました。 Kup Chai, and thank you.
EWCA Chennai chapter is a vibrant chapter, organized many programs for the past 20 years with the dynamic leadership of Sri Belliyappa, got Best Chapter Awards for year 2006, 2008, 2016, and so on. And we organize periodical meetings, get together, invites peoples in association with many organizations. Mr. Daniel Berman regularly visits us when he was in India. We had a very good cooperation with US Consulate Chennai, and we also organized and visited the 2010 Congress in Hawaii, USA, and many eminent leaders like Dr. Abdul Kalam, former President of India, and he has involved us in many programs like environmental program and protection conferences, etc. Then in 2014, our Chennai team, we have collaborated with Indian teams, Pakistan team, and Bangladesh, and all. We had a joint program, and it was a nice get together in 2014. So we had a very good interaction among the other chapters. During 2016 Manila conference, we made a lot of presentations. Youngsters like Siva participated. We got the Best Chapter Award also. Many young alumni like Radha Manikam and attended that Seoul 2018 conference, and our chapter member Dr. Vasanti Ranganathan received Outstanding Volunteer Award. And for the first time outside Hawaii, 2019 APLP program was organized in Chennai. It was very well received, and it's a very successful program. And US Consulate General Mr. Robert also attended the program. We had a lot of developing cultural program experience and others. And we plan to organize many more programs in cooperation with EWCA Hawaii. Hope to meet you all during 2022 International Conference in Hawaii. Aloha, thank you, Vanakkam.
Aloha and welcome to the second day of the East West Center International Alumni Conference. It is my distinct pleasure to announce the two winners of the East West Center Distinguished Alumni Award. This award recognizes outstanding achievements, including three areas that we always consider, and that is a personality and a life that reflects the mission of the East West Center to promote better relations and understanding among the peoples of Asia and the Pacific. Secondly, we look at career accomplishment, dedication to a career of personal advancement, but also one that serves others, that has outreach as mentoring or assistance or service in broader ways as part of the career activity. And finally, a person who exemplifies the East West Center goals and objectives in the whole realm of things that you all know about, having been at the East West Center. The first recipient we'll hear from, I'm very pleased to announce Ms. Diane Grady. Please join me in congratulating Diane Grady on this award.
Hello from Sydney to participants in the East West Center Conference, and thank you for keeping our connections alive for so many years. I'm deeply touched and grateful to receive the Distinguished Alumni Award. When I applied for an East West Center Fellowship over 50 years ago, I thought that maybe one day China would open up and thereby create a job opportunity for me. Needless to say, both have happened. My degree was in Asian Studies, and my field study was with Echo magazine in Taiwan. After my field study finished, I stayed on working for Echo for another 2.5 years. Then, when I returned to the United States, my East West Center Taiwan experience certainly lifted my application to the Harvard Business School. On completing my MBA, McKinsey & Company recruited me to come to Australia to help open their Southeast Asian practice. Again, EWC made the difference. Later, after 15 years with McKinsey, I became a board director on some of Australia's largest and most respected public companies, companies with interests or aspirations to do business in Asia. I actively encourage those companies to invest in a number of Asian countries, in part because of the wonderful people I met at the East-West Center. I think you can see how the center has had a significant influence on my professional career. But importantly, it has led to a lifelong friendship with Huang Baoling, who you see in this photo. Baoling was my roommate at the center, and we've been friends ever since, even though she moved to New York and I moved to Sydney. Baoling organized my nomination and was supported by Wei Shuju and Dr. Lin, both of whom I also knew at the center. It was such a thoughtful initiative, which took me totally by surprise. So to all of you, thank you.
So we've heard from Diane Grady, our first recipient. I'm very pleased and honored to introduce the second recipient of the East-West Center Distinguished Alumni Award, Dr. V. Bruce Tolentino. Dr. Tolentino.
Hello, mahalo, and aloha. This award represents the culmination of a lifetime of study, work, and experience in rural and agricultural development, particularly food security. This award was enabled by the experience of study and work at the East-West Center and University of Hawaii. And that experience was unique. Where else in the world can one study under standards of academic rigor that meet the world's requirements while living a life in the land of aloha and ohana, and sheltered in the context where East and West meet, and the research is demanded to be relevant to these conditions. So I am grateful that this award recognizes all that. Not only my work, but the legacy and the experience and the gifts that East-West Center and the University of Hawaii make possible. For this, I thank East-West Center and my mentor throughout all the years that I worked at East-West, Dr. Jim Romaset. Mahalo and aloha. Thank you.
All right, and congratulations again to our distinguished alumni awardees. That's Diane Grady and V. Bruce Tolentino. And also a big congrats to everyone who was awarded and all the chapters who were awarded for this year's international conference. Thank you so much for your inspiration, for your leadership, and your passion and your dedication to this ohana and everything that it stands for. All right, let's go through the explanation for the agenda for the rest of the day. We'll map this out so that you can understand where we're headed. So we've just finished the East-West Center Awards presentation. You can see that box now blacked out there. We're going to go on to our core conversations next, and there are two core conversations today, just like there were yesterday. Pandemics and planetary health. Of course, when you think of pandemic, we can't help but think of COVID that's been racing around the planet over the past year and a half or so, and misinformation in the media. Of course, fake news has been a popular or infamous phrase over the past several years now. After that, we'll go into East-West Center programs today, where we'll look at the programs that are happening now and what potentially is the future for the East-West Center over the next 60 years. After we've already gone through the past 60. And we'll be ending the day with reunions with the Pauhana in our reconnection rooms. As I mentioned before, this will be in Zoom rooms. Yesterday it was here in the welcome platform, but we're moving to a Zoom link. We'll send that to you near the end of the day today. And this will be by chapters and geographical areas. Yesterday, if you were joining us, it was by the decades. Here, it'll be by chapters and areas near you. And when you're in them, you can actually move in between rooms so you can say hi to different people in different cities or different countries. All right, let's take a quick little break, a musical interlude coming up here. And this is a performance composed by East West Center alum Andrew Gumatauta.
All right, what a beautiful music. So just like yesterday, we're going to have more fun trivia today about East West Center and a beautiful Hawaii. So if you are new today, I'll read a few questions and they will come up on your screen. You click the answers from options that pop up on your screen. These questions are not so easy, so good luck. So our first question is coming up on your screen soon. All right. Okay, so many of you were here, so this should be pretty easy one. So the question is, what is the most popular student activity to help bridge cultural differences? First, potluck. Ooh, cultural foods, all from different countries. Second, karaoke, wonderful singing, and talk story on the lawn. A lot of nice stories. And last one is all of the above. So please take your vote and remember the wonderful cultural events we participate while we're in Hawaii. Great. We'll be seeing your polls pretty soon. All right. People are voting. Wonderful, I think. Okay. All right. Oh, a lot of people put potluck. Yes. Karaoke. Wonderful. All right. The right answer is all of the above. Yes, but potluck is one of the most popular ones for sure. So congratulations. 49% of you got it correct. Wonderful. All right. Let's move to the next question. All right. Okay. Read it carefully. Which one of these is not a popular tourist attraction on Oahu, the island we stayed at the East West Center? First, Hanauma Bay, Diamond Head Crater, Waikiki, Haleakala, and Haleiwa. All right, those are really beautiful places. So please start voting. I am looking forward to see your votes. All right, let's see. All of you have been to Hanama Bay, I'm sure, and Diamond Head, everything. So I am looking for your answer at the moment. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Wonderful. Okay. The right answer is Haleakala. That is in a different island. So I'm not going to say which one, but it's in a different island. So it's not on Oahu. So anyway, good job for those who guessed it. All right. Last one for this session. Next question. Which one of these is not found at the East-West Center? Thai Sala, Friendship Circle, Japanese Garden, Duke Hanamoku Statue, and Tea House. All right, many of you, I'm sure, were there when you were at East-West Center. So I want to start seeing your votes. All right, thank you for start voting. Whoa, everybody getting really good. 89% is getting it the right question correct. Yes, that's true. Duke Kahamoku statue is not at East-West Center. It's in Waikiki. Very good memory, everyone. Wonderful job. Okay, well, thank you for participating in the trivia. And that concludes this trivia. And we have one more coming up a little later. Back to you.
All right, I'm back here to talk about our next core conversations. But by the way, Oyanga, I think you're prepping to be a really good game show host coming up there. So I hope you all had fun in the trivia game, and we've got some more coming up, as she mentioned there. All right, so we've got our two other core conversation topics that we're doing today. We did two yesterday, two are today. Now, these topics were selected based on a survey sent to all of you alumni out there. The topics themselves were based on current programs that the East-West Center is also currently engaged in. It'll start with a dynamic alumni duo, and they'll have a 20-minute conversation of their work on the core conversation topic that they're experts in. After that, all of you will go into breakouts, and that's the time that you can actually have a discussion, a chance to share what's happening in your own community, what's working and what's not. You can also make connections for your own work with alumni and with East-West Center staff. You can see on your stage on your screen right now, these are our two pairs of speakers there. Now, once the breakouts are done, all of you will come back together here. We'll do a short question and answer with all of our experts, and then we'll watch some inspirational examples of alumni working in related areas. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I get to the core conversation, right? Well, we have a graphic for you, a visual that we'll put up on the screen right now. So I'll walk you through that as well. First off, you have to look at the top left-hand corner of your screen, and there are three horizontal lines in the corner. It's underneath event navigation, which is what you're seeing here on the top left, but we're calling it a hamburger because if you imagine, it sort of looks like a sandwich there. But go ahead and try to click on that now, and you'll see a drop-down button of the core conversations. Now, you'll see day one's conversations there. They're closed, so you won't go there, but you can go to day two just by scrolling down just a little bit, and you'll see the two titles there, misinformation in the media, and then the pandemic and public health stage as well. So just click it there, and then you'll be sent there immediately. And a reminder, if you're having tech issues like a delay or if your screen isn't working, hit the refresh browser, hit the refresh button on your browser. Then you can click jump back in, and you'll probably find things are resolved. That's how we found them here. We'll also put a reminder in the chat about that now. So go ahead and click which core conversation you want to now. We'll now also invite each alumni expert dynamic duo to the stage for a quick preview. You can think of this as sort of like a little advertisement to say, okay, this is why our topic is the best one to come and join. So let's go ahead and have them on now.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Fan, and I'm sorry for my very glitchy video here. Hopefully that's not a deterrent to convince you to join our fabulous session on pandemics and planetary health. We, with my colleague Jim Spencer, who's Vice Provost and Dean at Louisiana State University and a planner by background, and myself with a health economics and epidemiology background, we'll talk about the intersections between health and the environment, questions of sustainability, but really we want to draw on the expertise and wisdom from the crowd, from our amazing East-West Center alumni, and really hear from you about what you're experiencing in your own countries with regards to these tremendous challenges that the world is experiencing. So hopefully that's my pitch to you to join our session. Mahalo.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nathan Bomey. I'm a reporter at USA Today and author of the book After the Fact, The Erosion of Truth and the Inevitable Rise of Donald Trump, and also the book Bridge Builders, Bringing People Together in a Polarized Age. I'm a reporter at USA Today, like I said, but when I joined the Detroit Free Press in 2012, which was shortly before I started at the started a fellowship at the East-West Center, I remember walking into the building at the Detroit Free Press in the Motor City, a town known as the Arsenal of Democracy that helped preserve freedom in World War II. I walked into this immaculate building with this beautiful etched writing on this Albert Kahn designed building, and the wording said, "Mirror of the public mind, interpreter of the public intent, troubler of the public conscience, reflector of every human interest, friend of every righteous cause, encourager of every generous act, bearer of intelligence, dispeller of ignorance and prejudice, a light shining into all dark places, promoter of civic welfare and civic pride, bond of civic unity, protector of civil rights, scourge of evildoers, exposer of secret iniquities, and unrelenting foe of privilege and corruption." That is the journalism that I joined, and the journalism that I'm proud to say that I contributed to at the Detroit Free Press, at USA Today, and journalists who have gone through East-West Center programs over the years also contributed to. So how did we get from that to a situation in which so many people are immersed in misinformation and outwardly disrespect or the media and contribute in many ways to disinformation? Well, we'll talk a little bit about that at our panel, but I'd like to focus a little bit more on what kind of solutions that we can contribute as individuals, and what journalism and what those of us in the media can do to start to fight back.
Great. Thank you very much, speakers, for your previews. Now, to all of you attendees, please take a look at this visual to help you navigate to the stage you would like to go. Go ahead and click either the pandemics and planetary health stage or the misinformation and the media stage, and we will see you over there very soon. Just one little hint: there's a very thin gray line between the menu box and the ocean picture. There's a gray box to be able to go to day 2, and then you can see all the options. All right, we will see you over there, and please start clicking now.
Holy
How are you? Hi everyone, if you are still in the main stage, we'd encourage you to go ahead and navigate using the small red box in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 white lines that we call the hamburger. Go ahead and click on the hamburger so you'll see the event navigation, and there you can choose between the Day 2 core conversations, which are pandemics and planetary health, or misinformation in the media. Thank you.
Your lipstick stains on the front Twist and turn away. If you tear yourself into again. If I could, yes I would. If I could, I would let it go. Surrender, dislocate.
Hi all, if you are just joining us now, please note that we are in our core conversations. You can reach the core conversations by clicking on the red box with 3 white lines known as the hamburger in the upper left corner. That will expand the event navigation menu, and from there you can choose between our Day 2 core conversations, either planetary health and pandemics or misinformation and media. See you there.
Can look into my eyes and see the way I feel and how the world is treating me. Maybe I have known you forever. Amigos para siempre means you'll always be my friend. Amigos para siempre means a love that never ends. Friends for life, not just a summer or a spring. Amigos para siempre. I feel you near me even when we are apart. Just knowing you are in this walk can warm my heart. Friends for life, not just a summer or a spring. Amigos para siempre.
We share memories I won't forget, and we'll share more, my friend. We haven't started yet. Something happens when we're together.
When I look at you, I wonder why there has to come a time when we must say goodbye. I'm alive when we are together. Amigos para siempre means you'll always be my friend. Amigos para siempre means a love that cannot end. Friends for life, not just a summer or a spring. Amigos para siempre. I feel you near me even when we are apart. Just knowing you are in this world can warm my heart. Friends for life, not just a summer or a spring. Amigos para siempre. I look at you, I wonder why there has to come a time when we must say
தருவாளோ தத்தளிக்கும் மனமே தத்தை வருவாளா முட்டு இதழ் முத்தம் ஒன்று தருவாளா கொஞ்சம் பொறு கொலு சொல்லி கேட்கிறதே என்னை தாராட்ட வருவாளோ நெஞ்சில் பூமஞ்சம் தருவாளோ தங்க தேராட்டம் வருவாளோ இல்லை ஏமாற்றம் தருவாளோ மின்னல் காட்டினாள் ஆயிரம் ஆசைகள் என்னில் ஊட்டினாள் ஏனோ ஏனோ நெஞ்சை பூட்டினாள் இரவும் பகலும் என்னை வாட்டினாள் இதயம் அவள் பெயரில் மாற்றினாள் காதல் தீயை வந்து மூட்டினாள் நான் கேட்கும் பதில் இன்று வாராதா நான் தூங்க மடியொன்று தாராதா தாகங்கள் தாபங்கள் தீராதா தாளங்கள் ராகங்கள் சேராதா வழியோரம் விழி வைக்கிறேன் எனது இரவு அவள் தூங்கலில் எனது பகல்கள் அவள் பார்வையில் காலம் எல்லாம் அவள் காதலில் கனவு கலையவில்லை கண்களில் இதயம் துடிக்கவில்லை ஆசையில் வாழ்வும் தாழ்வும் அவள் வார்த்தையில் கண்ணுக்குள் இமையாக இருக்கின்றாள் இசையாக துடிக்கின்றாள் நாளைக்கு நான் காண வருவாளோ பாலைக்கு நீரூற்றி போவாளோ வழியோரம் விழி வைக்கிறேன் என்னை தாளாட்ட வருவாளோ நெஞ்சில் பூமஞ்சம் தருவாளோ தங்க தேராட்டம் வருவாளோ இல்லை ஏமாற்றம் தருவாளோ தத்தளிக்கும் மனமே தத்தை வருவாளா முட்டு இதழ் முத்தம் ஒன்று தருவாளா கொஞ்சம் பொறு கொலு சொல்லி கேட்கிறதே என்னை தாராட்ட வருவாளோ வருவாளோ பூமஞ்சம் தருவாளோ தருவாளோ தங்க தேராட்டம் வருவாளோ வருவாளோ இல்லை ஏமாற்றம் தருவாளோ தருவாளோ
நெஞ்சினிலே 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 ஊஞ்சலே நாணங்கள் என் கண்ணிலே
പുഞ്ചിരി തഞ്ചി കുഞ്ചിക്കോ മുന്തിരി മുത്തൊളി ചിന്തിക്കോ മഞ്ചണി വർണ്ണ ചുന്ദരി വാവേ തങ്കിണ്ണക്ക തകതിമിയാടും തങ്ക നിലാവേ പുഞ്ചിരി തഞ്ചി കുഞ്ചിക്കോ മുന്തിരി മുത്തൊളി மங்கனி வர்ண சுந்தரி வாவே தாங்கின் நக்க தகதியாடும் தங்க நிலாவே
நெஞ்சினிலே நெஞ்சினிலே ஊஞ்சலே நாணங்கள் என் கண்ணிலே சிவந்ததே என் மஞ்சளே கல்யாண கல்யாண கனவு என் உள்ளே நெஞ்சினிலே நெஞ்சினிலே ஊஞ்சலே நாணங்கள் என் கண்ணிலே சிவந்ததே என் மஞ்சளே கல்யாண கல்யாண கனவு என் உள்ளே நெஞ்சிலே ஊஞ்சலே ஓர பார்வை வீசுவான் உயிரின் கயிறில் அவிழுமே ஓர பார்வை வீசுவான் உயிரின் கயிறில் அவிழுமே செவ்விதழ் வருடும் போது தேக தங்கம் உருகுமே உலகின் ஓசை அடங்கும் போது உயிரின் ஓசை தொடங்குமே வானிலா நாளுமே முகிலெடுத்து கண் மூடுமே நெஞ்சினிலே நெஞ்சினிலே ஊஞ்சலே நாணங்கள் என் கண்ணிலே சிவந்ததே என் மஞ்சளே கல்யாண கல்யாண கனவு என் உள்ளே நெஞ்சினிலே நெஞ்சினிலே ஊஞ்சலே நாணங்கள் என் கண்ணிலே சிவந்ததே என் மஞ்சளே கல்யாண கல்யாண கனவு என் உள்ளே நெஞ்சிலே குங்குமம் ஏன் சூடினே கோலமுத்தத்தில் கலையத்தான் கூரைப்பட்டு ஏன் உடுத்தினே கூடல் பொழுதில் கசங்கத்தான் மங்கை கூந்தல் மலர்கள் எதற்கு கட்டில் மேலே நசுங்கத்தான் தீபங்கள் அணைப்பதே புதிய பொருள் நாம் தேடத்தான் நெஞ்சினிலே நெஞ்சினிலே ஊஞ்சலே நாணங்கள் என் கண்ணிலே சிவந்ததே என் மஞ்சளே கல்யாண கல்யாண கனவு என் உள்ளே நெஞ்சினிலே நெஞ்சினிலே ஊஞ்சலே நாணங்கள் என் கண்ணிலே சிவந்ததே என் மஞ்சளே கல்யாண கல்யாண கனவு
ഞാൻ കാണും നേരം തൊട്ടേ നീ എൻ പെണ്ണ് കണ്ണാലെ കണ്ണാലുള്ളം കവരും പെണ്ണ് കാന്താരി പൂവായാദ്യം തോന്നും പെണ്ണ് അറിയാതെ അറിയാതെന്റെ സഖിയാം പെണ്ണ് മഴവില്ലിൻ ചേരിൽ സ്നേഹം മേയും തൂവൽ കൂടുണ്ടേ അതിലെന്നും എന്നും കൂടെ കൂടാൻ നോമൽ പെണ്ണുണ്ട് അവളില്ലെങ്കിൽ ഞാനല്ലേ മണ്ണിൽ എല്ലാം എൻ പെണ്ണ് വെണ്ണില തിങ്കളിൽ താലിയോടെ എന്നിലൻ പാതിയായി ചേർന്ന പെണ്ണ് മഞ്ഞുനീ തുള്ളിയായി എന്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ പിന്നെയും പിന്നെയും പെയ്ത പെണ്ണ് ഞാൻ കാണും നേരം തൊട്ടേ നീ എൻ പെണ്ണ് കണ്ണാലെ കണ്ണാലുള്ളം കവരും പെണ്ണ് ആവാരം പൂവിൻ അഴകാണിൻ പെണ്ണ് അടങ്ങാ കുറുമ്പോലും കിളിയൻ പെണ്ണ് ഞാനൊന്നു മെല്ലെ പെഴുകിടും നേരം ഇടനെഞ്ചിൽ ചേർന്നിടും കുറുന്നു പെണ്ണ് മഴവില്ലും ചേരിൽ സ്നേഹം മേയും തൂവൽ കൂടുണ്ടേ അതിലെന്നും എന്നും കൂടെ കൂടാൻ നോമൽ പെണ്ണുണ്ട് അവളില്ലെങ്കിൽ ഞാനില്ലേ മണ്ണിൽ എല്ലാം എൻ പെണ്ണ് വെണ്ണില തിങ്കളിൻ താലിയോടെ എന്നിലൻ പാതിയായി ചേർന്ന പെണ്ണ് വൈശാഖക്കാറ്റിൻ കുളിരാണിൻ പെണ്ണ് മനസ്സൊന്നു തേങ്ങുമ്പോൾ തുണയും പെണ്ണ് മൊഴിയാലെ തേനിൻ മഴയേകും കാതൽ ഇനി 7 ജന്മവും ഇതെന്റെ പെണ്ണ് മഴവില്ലിൻ ചേരിൽ സ്നേഹം മേയും തൂവൽ കൂടുണ്ടേ അതിലെന്നും എന്നും കൂടെ കൂടാൻ നോമൽ പെണ്ണുണ്ടേ അവളില്ലെങ്കിൽ ഞാനില്ലേ മണ്ണിൽ എല്ലാം എൻ പെണ്ണ് വെണ്ണില തിങ്കളിൽ താലിയോടെ എന്നിലൻ പാതിയായി ചേർന്ന പെണ്ണ് മഞ്ഞുനീ തുള്ളിയായി എന്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ പിന്നെയും പിന്നെയും പെയ്ത പെണ്ണ്
Hi, everyone. We are still in the core conversations. And if you did want to check any of that out, please feel free to navigate over there. But we will be returning to this stage shortly. So if you'd like, you can also just stay here and listen to our music from our playlist. But if you would like to check out the core conversations, you can get there by clicking on the red box on the left-hand side with the 3 white lines and navigating over. Thank you.
Your lipstick stains on the front lobe of my left side brains. I knew I wouldn't forget you, and so I went and let you blow my mind. Your sweet moonbeam, the smell of you in every single dream I dream. I knew when we collided,
தேராட்டம் வருவாளோ இல்லை ஏமாற்றம் தருவாளோ தத்தளிக்கும் மனமே தத்தை வருவாளா முட்டு இதழ் முத்தம் ஒன்று தருவாளா கொஞ்சம் பொறு கொலு சொல்லி கேட்கிறதே என்னை தாராட்ட வருவாளோ நெஞ்சில் பூமஞ்சம் தருவாளோ தங்க தேராட்டம் வருவாளோ இல்லை ஏமாற்றம் தருவாளோ பார்வையில் மின்னல் காட்டினார் ஆயிரம் ஆசைகள் என்னில் ஊட்டினார் ஏனோ ஏனோ நெஞ்சை பூட்டினார் இரவும் பகலும் என்னை வாட்டினார்
All right, welcome back to the main stage, everyone. Hopefully you were able to navigate quickly from the core conversations and you had a great time there. Really wonderful discussion. So thank you to all of our alumni experts. We want to run a video here also about another alumnus, Bruce Reynolds, and he's introducing a new collaboration with the East-West Center to launch a global international Asian Heritage Month, an international one. Now, if you're in the United States, you know that May is Asia Pacific Islander Heritage Month, but this is an international Asian Heritage Month. And we're going to have Bruce on to tell you more. Take a listen.
I'm Bruce Reynolds, and I'm part of Generation 4, also known as G4, of the Asia Pacific Leadership Program, APLP. June of this year, I launched International Black Heritage and History Month to unite voices and curious minds regarding the Afro diaspora around the world. And it's been a success, I'm pleased to say. And we soon realized that people needed to be educated more regarding the continent of Asia. And with the rise of Asian hate, we thought we really needed to do something positive. So I'm pleased to announce we've launched International Asian Heritage and History Month of July this year to act as a cultural bridge and understanding for people to know more about the continent of Asia and also be a platform to showcase the amazing work that the East-West Center does. So please visit internationalasianheritagemonth.com and share it with all those you know. Thank you.
All right, great. So you can go ahead and learn more about that. An exciting and worthy initiative all about International Asian Heritage Month that you can be a part of by submitting your content or spreading the word about it. And now let's go ahead and review the rest of the plan for today. We can go ahead and bring that up on the screen just to get an idea of the roadmap for us right now. So right now we are going to be going into our East-West Center Today session, and we're going to be talking about what the next 60 years are going to be about, and you're going to be able to talk with staff at the East-West Center to hear about a bunch of different new initiatives that are happening and ask your burning questions about how everything is going right now. All right, so after that, I think we are going to kick it on over to Oyunga. Is that right? So we're going to go to Oyunga right now for our next piece of trivia. So Oyunga, on over to you.
All right. It is another EWC trivia time. So welcome back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the some little bit of break if you had chance. And we have our last time for another trivia. So I have another few questions for you. So please get ready. So the first question is coming up on your screen now. Good luck. All right. So these are all related to our beautiful Hawaii. So the first question is, this island is home to the largest dormant volcano in the world. So dormant means non-active. So what is the largest non-active volcano in the whole world? So first is Maui, second is Hawaii, third is Kauai, and fourth is Oahu. So please start voting. And I will be checking your votes to see if we're getting it correct. So I actually didn't know it, but as part of the Changing Faces program, we were very fortunate to be able to travel to one of the islands. And this specific volcano was on this island. So I am now going to look at the answer. How are we doing for as far as your votes? Wow, okay. 62% of you said it's on the island of Hawaii. Okay, all right. So actually, the right answer is on Maui. It's a volcano called Haleakala. So if you got Maui correct, you did really good. Wonderful job. Okay, next one. Let's have the next question up. All right, this is another number question. So the big island of Hawaii is made of how many volcanoes? So please start voting. Another question I didn't know either. So we will see your, how did you do? Let me see. Oh, okay. Many of you are answering. Okay, keep voting because I see the vote coming in more. Good. All right. Majority of you is picking 2. All right. Okay. I am going to give you the right answer. But again, I didn't know the answer either. So I'm going to give you a tip. It is actually, there are 5 volcanoes on the island of Hawaii. And how I remember the answer going forward is most Mongolian students go by A through, instead of going A, B, C, D, we used to have a grade 5, 4, 3, 2, meaning 2. If you got 2, it's really bad. If you got 5, that means you're really good job. So going forward, if you have that question, kind of think about how do Mongolian students like it? They like number 5. So going forward, if this ever comes up to you, the right answer is number 5. All right, are we ready for the last one? Let's come up with the last question. All right, name the largest active volcano on the planet. So the first one is Girling Gadlur, second, Mauna Loa, and third, Kilauea, and last one is Mauna Kea. All right, please start voting. Wow, you guys vote really fast. Okay. Majority of you are voting for, well, it's actually tying. Okay, I'm going to wait a little bit because some of the questions are tying, but majority of you are picking Kilauea. But the right answer is actually Mauna Loa. So another trick to remember going forward is, remember when you were in Hawaii, you liked the very famous chocolate brand, Mauna Loa? That's the name of the most largest active volcano on the planet. So next time when you're talking to East Center alumni or future alumni is interested about learning about volcanoes, you have all the answers now. All right, thank you guys for participating. All right, back to you.
All right, Oyanga, thank you very much. And thanks for participating in that piece of trivia. We all think that we know everything about Hawaii, don't we? But turns out we still don't, still have a lot to learn. But next up, we're going to be learning about the future of the East-West Center today. This is the next 60 years, preparing for that next second half, I guess, because we've already done 60 years in the past. And this is to engage alumni on the current work of the center by hearing directly from the leadership there and all of the staff who work there. This will also hopefully let all of you alumni around the world feel a little bit more connected, especially over the past year and a half of not being able to travel there. On the screen here, you can see the East-West Center programs today, everything from the Pacific Islands Development Program, PIDUP, through education, leadership, all the way down through seminars, as well as research programs there. And when you know more about this, then all of you can serve as ambassadors for the current center work. Tell people what's going on about the center, because these specific programs have really changed a lot to try to meet the demands of the region, both here in Asia and connecting it to the rest of the world, a lot of you, of course, being in the United States. And we'll begin with Mary Hattori with the Pacific Islands Development Program to speak. After that, we'll have a few more speakers to share about 5 minutes or so of each of their programs. If you've got questions, though, go ahead and navigate to the chat box on the right-hand side of your screen. You can input your questions there. We won't have any breakouts for this session, which is what we did yesterday. So type your questions in the chat box, and then our speakers can answer them either while they're talking, or that you can have a conversation with them offline, because they definitely want to share as much information as possible. All right, first up, we are going to go to PIDUP and Mary Hattori.
PIDP was established in 1980 at the First Pacific Islands Conference of Leaders, or PICL, as a joint initiative of the East-West Center and the Pacific Island Conference. The Pacific Island Conference of Leaders is intended to provide a unique opportunity for island leaders from the North and South Pacific, regardless of political status, to meet as equals in an informal setting to discuss development goals and problems and to exchange ideas and experience. The Pacific Island Conference of Leaders includes heads of government from 20 island nations, territories, and the state of Hawaii. Next slide. Since 1980, PIDP has served the nations and peoples of the Pacific through innovative capacity building, interchange among regional leaders, and policy-relevant research on priority issues. We have 3 roles as shown on this slide. One is as a program within the East-West Center focused on the Pacific, taking guidance from East-West Center leadership and our Board of Governors. The second is as a secretariat of the Pacific Islands Conference of Leaders. And our third role is as a member, in fact, a founding member of the Council of Regional Organizations of the Pacific. The CROP was established by Pacific leaders in 1988 to improve cooperation, coordination, and collaboration among various intergovernmental regional organizations to work toward achieving the common goal of sustainable development in the Pacific region. Next slide. Here are some events that we have hosted or participated in, and similar events are planned for the coming months and years. We look forward to collaborating with you and seeing you at some of our similar events. In the upper left, we are hosting a series of art and poetry events with the Honolulu Museum of Art. Caring Culture Micronesia is a 3-part poetry series. The third part will actually be on site at the Honolulu Museum of Art in November, and that is called Caring Culture Micronesia, Voices of Solidarity. We are trying to raise or shine a light on issues of discrimination against Micronesians in Hawaii and elevate Micronesian cultures through the arts and create opportunities for solidarity across all of the cultures in the Pacific and in the United States. In the upper right, this is a similar endeavor. We are using professional development in collaboration with the East-West Center Arts Program, the Center for Pacific Island Studies, the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and the Department of Education to deliver workshops for Department of Education teachers called Caring Culture Micronesia. These workshops cover culturally sustaining pedagogy, culturally responsive teaching for Micronesians and other Pacific Islanders, addressing standards in areas like language arts, second language learning, sheltered instruction, social studies, and the arts. In the lower left, that's a graphic from the 2021 Celebrate Micronesia Festival, which was held in cooperation with the Bishop Museum and with Micronesian cultural groups in the state of Hawaii and across the region. That was a hybrid event, also held in collaboration with units across the East-West Center, including our arts programs. On ground, we had 1,077 people come to the site between 9 and 2, and had many more online. Our next event in that tradition of celebrating Micronesian culture will be on March 21, 2022, and we hope to see many of you there at the Bishop Museum, possibly online if it is a hybrid event. And finally, the graphic in the lower right shows or highlights the 11th Pacific Island Conference of Leaders, a 2-day virtual event that the Pacific Islands Development Program delivered. We had 11 governments represented, 11 islands, territories in the state of Hawaii, and 64 delegates from those 11 member countries. So we look to those members for guidance and for ways to bridge connections and cultures across Oceania, across Asia, and the United States. We thank you for attending, for your time, your attention, and look forward to collaborating. Mahalo.
Aloha. My name is Connie Kamak-Levy, and I'm one of the student program coordinators beaming in live from my home here in Honolulu. And on behalf of the entire education program team and Dean Ann Hartman, I'm honored to have this opportunity to share with you all some updates from our student programs. A common theme from this past extraordinarily challenging year is actually how resilient and connected our wider student community is. From day one of the pandemic, as colleges and universities closed their campuses, the East-West Center committed to remaining open to East-West Center students with top-level support from President Volsteck and in coordination with dedicated colleagues in housing and administration to ensure students had safe shelter to continue their studies. And in May 2020, we held our first ever virtual Ho'opuka graduation ceremony, celebrating with friends and family zooming in from around the world to see our participants successfully complete their East-West Center programs. And as the world went into lockdown in the summer of last year, our community of students, alumni, donors, staff from across the organization, and local community partners rallied together. We held a weekly food pantry at Halehalawai. We received a critical shipment of masks from an alum in China, and a new student emergency fund was raised thousands of dollars to help stranded students and students in distress. Besides supporting continuing students, we stayed the course and were able to bring in a new cohort of students for the new academic year, coordinating with colleagues at the University of Hawaii and embassies and consulates in the region. Thanks to one of our esteemed alum, Alapaki Luke, whom I know many of you know, he designed the Fall 2020 New Student Orientation around the Hawaiian concept of pilina, which means relationships. This theme of pilina focuses on the fact that even during these unprecedented times, we are not isolated by distance, but rather we are connected with pilina in new communities and ohana. Before moving into their dorm rooms in Hale Manoa or Hale Kuihine, new students were required to quarantine in Lincoln Hall Guest House, where they received welcome kits that were generously donated by the Friends of the East-West Center. And we paired them up with a student volunteer who would check in with them every day to make sure they were settling into their new home. We also had our first completely remote students in the Solomon Islands and China who were unable to travel here, but still managed to hold their scholarships and participate in East-West Center virtual programming. And as a side note, we hope that these remote students are among the first invited to the next in-person alumni conference here in Hawaii. Throughout the academic year till now, we have tried to center Pilina relationships at the core of our work as we pivoted to social distancing for all of our flagship activities, which remain student-led and student-organized. This includes the weekly exchange series, beaming in world-class Asia-Pacific scholars and performers, the International Graduate Student Conference, where students presented on multidisciplinary research with peers from dozens of other universities, EWCPA social events that kindled friendships and boosted morale, the East-West Center mentorship program run by the Alumni Office, and the creation of new pathways for conducting community service at a distance. The success of these activities is further bolstered by the fact that there has been only one case of COVID-19 in our congregate housing, showing how our students and staff have cared and sacrificed for one another to keep our wider community here on Oahu safe and supported. Lastly, the theme of this year's new student orientation, which will see about 140 new students arriving over the next month, is Onipa'a, which is Hawaiian for rooted but moving forward. And we envision this theme will help the education program navigate into a new era of change and growth. We hope that we can continue to connect tradition and innovation by engaging alumni and other key stakeholders in building and growing a diverse and interconnected community of East-West Center students who take the knowledge and values that they learn here to make a positive impact in the world. Mahalo.
Aloha and good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining us over the last 2 days on this Bridge to 2022. My name is Gretchen Alther and I serve as the East-West Center Leadership Program's Senior Manager. I'm joining you today live from my living room / office, just a mile above the East-West Center here in Manoa. The East-West Center's leadership program generates a core group of people who are committed and capable of making positive change in the world and are also some of the center's most enthusiastic alumni. So a shout out to all of the leadership program alumni here today and also to everyone here who supports the East-West Center leadership program. We are only as strong as those who work with and support us. Like everyone, the leadership program has had to shift over the past year and a half. The next slide shows that our two core programs, the Asia Pacific Leadership Program, is getting ready to select its 20th cohort, and the Pacific Islands Leadership Program with Taiwan is getting ready to select its 8th cohort. Both of these have been postponed because of the pandemic, and we're really excited to welcome participants here to Honolulu in the second half of 2022. Other upcoming programs we're looking forward to in the coming year include Artists in Residence in partnership with East-West Center Arts and Giant Steps Music out of San Francisco. Maybe you've caught some of our online music in a series called Artists in Resonance over the last 6 months. We're excited to continue this work of bringing artists together to foster global social justice leadership and impact through music. We're also working together with the University of Hawaii at Manoa and the Aspen Global Change Institute to explore pathways of professional and academic development for frontline climate leaders in the Pacific, especially women. We're excited about this collaboration and the potential to support leaders in the technical and adaptive challenges they face in this critical and existentially critical work. We're looking forward to continuing to offer a series of opportunities for alumni and East-West Center friends and supporters, as well as people who are just getting to know the East-West Center, to join us for a variety of conversations, workshops, panels, and certificate programs. You can see here on the screen some of those that have occurred over the last year and a half. Many of you have joined us for virtual workshops, including ones featuring alumni, East-West Center specialists, and people leading at the edge of critical issues. Thanks to all of you who have joined us, and please continue to do so and spread the word. One event you're all invited to, and that happens soon, is the Leadership Program Summit in 2 weeks. You can join us again here It's themed, and the themes echo some of the themes that we've been discussing here in this conference, like inclusive leadership, climate change, and myths and disinformation. Each day will feature ISWA Center alumni and a keynote, including Nathan and Dilrukshi again, and we'll have a space for conversations and engagement. So please check it out, sign up, and join us. In a moment, I'll post all of those links in the chat for you. A few other leadership program events coming up include the Misinformation and Media Certificate, which all of you who participated in this session with Nathan and Dilrukshi will have a chance to do. The certificate bridges this conference, the Leadership Program Summit, and connects several excellent seminars on this critical topic of misinformation. In September, we'll offer another 5-week certificate looking at emerging and critical issues in the region and challenging people to connect the question of what's going on with their own areas of interest and influence. So follow us on social media to learn more, and I'll put those links in the chat in a second. A few other upcoming certificates include one on courageous conversations, another on trauma-informed leadership, another on peace leadership, and there will be more. And then in early 2022, we will launch a virtual cohort focused on exploring and activating personal leadership. This will include practice circles, a chance to work with a small group of peers to dig deep into issues and leadership practice. Again, follow us to learn about these opportunities. And again, see the links in a moment in the chat for how to do that. The ISWA Center program continues to educate and develop individuals who are prepared to lead us into the future that is emerging around us and help us to co-create that future. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for being here at the conference, and stay in touch. We're really excited to continue these relationships and these conversations. Thank you.
Aloha, everyone. How great to see you. Really wonderful seeing the chat going off. Please continue to ask questions there. Like Gretchen and Kanakai, I'm beaming in live, as she says. So looking forward to a robust conversation there. My name is Lance Boyd. I'm the founder of EWC's Experiential Professional Development, which supports the EWC Innovation Fellows whose stories you've been seeing throughout this incredible event. I'm also the Waisili Academic Director. I'm based here in Hawaii and have been with the center full-time for about 3 years. The EWC's Experiential Professional Development is a new division that designs, facilitates, and evaluates innovative, non-residential experiential programs in partnership with dozens of universities, nonprofit and for-profit organizations, many run by alumni like you, as well as U.S. embassies across Asia and the Americas. This includes programs with alumni such as the Innovation for Sustainable Development Fellows, or EWC Innovation Fellows for short, for early career professionals, and the EWC Ocean Research Corps, a non-residential internship for early career ocean researchers. We also run innovation challenges on various themes and have an awards program I'll talk a little bit about. So we kind of got our start, and we have a deep partnership with the Waisili Initiative that's run with 11 U.S. embassies and the University of Montana, as well as the Department of State. It's their signature program for leadership development in Southeast Asia. So you may not have heard of many of these programs, maybe except for Waisili, and that's because most of them all are entirely new. These are adaptations to COVID. This is an opportunity we felt to experiment, to try to reach new audiences with new opportunities. So I'm going to talk a bit about those, and I'm hoping we can stay in touch and maybe find a way to get involved in those. So for 2020, XPD was planning on a year just like any other. We plan on hosting 2 cohorts, 21 fellows from Southeast Asia, perhaps run another 2 regional workshops in Southeast Asia. So this would enable us to reach between about 80 and 100 young innovators across Southeast Asia, as we've done since 2009. But boy, did our plans change, and boy, did our impact change as well. So COVID happened. Overnight, all our plans were canceled. Fellows who were promised an experience like you have were told they'd have to wait. So we saw, as you did, our community suffering terrible human and economic losses. We saw, as you did, alumni organizations struggling to adapt, alumni businesses at risk of closing, and professors or alumni universities struggling to reach students. So we realized the need to go beyond training and professional development and become partners committed to co-designing and co-delivering programs immersed in communities supporting innovation. Let's look at that first slide, Jamin. One of the first things XPD did was we teamed with a team of fellows and partnered with Smithsonian Institution's Conservation Commons to create the Earth Optimism Awards based on the Earth Optimism movement. You see our logo there. This is very exciting and something we hope to continue to do in the future. XPD also partnered with colleagues at InnoDays and multiple universities in the US, Europe, and Asia to offer short 48-hour innovation-themed hackathons, of which we are very excited to continue to launch with the with the US Embassy in Tokyo, going into 2022 with the Blue Economy Innovation Challenge. And lastly, we partnered with a lot of startup accelerators and leaders in the startup ecosystem in Southeast Asia to run Bluepreneurs, a virtual boot camp for startups addressing issues in the oceans. And then on the bottom slide, you see our virtual institute, our very first virtual institute, which featured 8 dynamic debates, many of which featuring alumni, and one there you're even seeing featured a few rhinoceros. So with our Waisili program thriving, we moved into thinking about you, our alumni, and we launched a new and notably non-residential fellowship program and non-residential internship program to complement the undeniably popular and irreplaceable training you received in Hawaii. So the EWC Innovation for Sustainable Development Fellows is a 10-year opportunity to support EWC alumni striving to achieve the UN Sustainable Development Goals and is officially recognized by the United Nations as an SDG acceleration action. Many of the videos you've seen in this event have come from these fellows. And Jamin, if you go to the next slide, I think we may be able to look at a few of those examples that folks may recognize. Some of the examples you're seeing here, and I know folks are in the audience, thanks for joining us. We had the Atomic Impact Academy with Rahman and Liana. We saw their story. We had Thresher Shark Indonesia with Rafid, which you see was on the cover of Oceanographic magazine there. Tagbi, a circular economy training with MJ, has been an incredibly insightful and innovative story to be a part of. Dr. Gurbillo with Visayas State University, who's here with us as well, has run an incredibly innovative program using radio education to reach those in need. And then, of course, we must mention our teams in Mongolia who've run incredible programs and will continue to run programs around adaptive leadership and helping teenagers adapt to these crazy times. So I think, we have dozens of countries we're reaching, and I just want to be clear that we are not in those countries. You are our partners in those countries. We accept nominations from EWC alumni and from alumni contacts and from chapters, and we continue to try to hope to work with you going forth. So lastly is our Ocean Research Core program. We just started. We have 9 new researchers. And in fact, we hope, though, to train 100 young researchers in 100 different communities across Southeast Asia for the Ocean Decade. In case you didn't know, that has been launched this year by UNESCO. So for 2021, 9 researchers doing all sorts of topics. We look forward to continue to rotate and involve new opportunities for those. So if you know any young ocean researchers, please be in touch. Lastly, and moving forward, I would like to share a bit of good news. I'm very happy to announce here for the first time that the U.S. Department of State has affirmed our work and has noted what the East West Center has done with a $4 million 3-year grant to continue our programs. So with this support and the long-term commitment of our partners and alumni like you, we look forward to continue to adapt and become even more relevant to our alumni and our communities for the next 60 years. Thank you, and aloha.
All right, Lance, thank you so much, and as well to Gretchen, Kanika, and Mary to share all the programs so far that we've heard about the East West Center. I just have to say that in the past, 10 years, 11, 12 years or so that I had my first East West Center program, there are so many more things going on. It's almost mind-blowing. I see that people are posting in the chat links that you can learn more. I'm sure this is a little bit a lot of a flood of information, but that's just a testament to how much the East West Center has grown, just even in the time that I've been associated with it. So definitely look in. I see that Gretchen has posted a lot of links into the public chat here. You can go ahead and click on them. And the rest of our speakers also go ahead and put relevant links so that everyone can go click in there too. If you have any questions as well, please put questions into the chat so that our speakers can also look at those, either answer them in the chat, or you can also speak to them in person in our reconnection rooms and in our public lounges. All right. Let's go back. We've got a couple more speakers. It's not over yet. More programs to learn from the East-West Center. And I believe we have Peter Hershak up next. Peter.
Hi, I'm Peter Hershak. I'm the lead of the Asian Studies Development Program, which was founded in 1990 with the mission of enhancing undergraduate teaching and learning about Asian cultures and societies. Over the last 30 years, we've hosted approximately 150 summer residential institutes, 25 or 30 field seminars in Asia, a couple of hundred workshops on the US mainland, and we're just coming up on 30 national conferences. In everything that we've done since being founded in 1990, we've really focused on the value of diversity, where we understand diversity is not just a matter of people from different backgrounds or disciplines or generations coming together, but it's a relational achievement that occurs only when the differences among those present are activated as the basis of mutual contribution to sustainably shared flourishing. And we've taken that idea really seriously in terms of the kinds of program that we're doing. We were founded with Dr. Elizabeth Buck, Dr. Roger Ames from the East-West Center and the University of Hawaii, respectively. And their vision was, it's just the three of us doing things, and we learn from our alumni. And our alumni base and the diversity that we've enjoyed through getting to know them and get to work with them has really what's made the program vibrant enough to last the 30 years it has, and looking forward to another good 30. And I'd like to invite two of our alumni to speak with you, Dennis Arjo, who's the president of the ASDP Alumni Chapter, and Rosalind Schern, who's on the Alumni Chapter Board as well. So let me turn over to them. Thanks. Maybe Dennis first. I think we have some, what they used to call in the old radio, television, radio days, dead air.
Yes.
So
perhaps
Oh, Rosalind. Okay. I think Rosalind was just about to say something. Can we bring her back? Jamie, can we bring Rosalind back? I think she was able to. There we are. All right. Technical difficulties, but we smile and we push through. This is live television, folks. Rosalind, go ahead.
Hi. Sorry about that. I was waiting for Dennis. So I'm Rosalind Shane. I'm a professor of sociology. I work in Texas for one of the Texas A&M campuses. My first ASDP event was actually the national conference in 2018. And I was invited by some other alumni, and they said, come to our conference. And it was wonderful. And I thought, these people are such a great resource. And so after that, I applied for one of the summer institutes. I attended the Colonial Experiences and Legacies in Southeast Asia in 2019. It was an amazing summer program. It was exactly what I needed. As someone who's an educator, I needed more content. I know how to, write a module. I know how to do research and write a paper. But I got so much support and time to just think and revamp my class. And there are so many great people in ASDP who have expertise and knowledge in all these different areas. And so we're a resource for one another. We're support for one another. And as the world changes, Asian Studies and the alumni group is just a great place to go to talk to one another, ask people who know a region of the world better than you do, to help you keep up to date on those kinds of things. My students at my A&M campus are a majority Black and Hispanic. They're a majority first generation. I may be their first contact with Asian studies, and they absolutely love it. There's so much curiosity. It's something they haven't been introduced to before. And so ASDP is really where I go to just get refueled, to bring that great content to my students. This group is just such a resource for me, wonderful people, and I can't wait to see everyone again in San Diego. I've really missed them.
All right, great. Rosalind, thank you so much. And Peter Hershock, also thank you for sharing that. Let's go ahead to our next group of speakers. And I want to bring in Susan Kreifels to speak about the media and journalism programs. Go ahead.
Aloha, everyone. My name is Susan Kreifels, and I'm the East West Center's Media Program Manager in the Seminars and Journalism Program. As I mentioned earlier, I was a Jefferson Fellow in 1985, a program that really had great professional impact on me. So I'm pleased to speak today as an EWC alumnus as well as a staff member. So the Jefferson Fellowships, our flagship activity for journalists, is the Center's longest continuously running program, starting in 1967. Since then, we have built a network of close to 5,000 media alumni spread throughout the US, Asia Pacific, and the world. We offer about 8 to 10 diverse journalism programs every year in a normal year. And these programs are important because of media's influence on policymakers and the public. We take journalists on reporting tours in the US, Asia Pacific, and Middle East to gather firsthand facts and perspectives and build trustworthy information sources. And those are important tools in better informing publics and fighting misinformation and disinformation, which has been a very big topic that we've been discussing today. So during the past year, we quickly and successfully transitioned to virtual programming that has attracted close to 4,000 registered participants and 16,000 total viewers around the world in the past year. Our EWC Seminars Live bi-monthly series of webinars started early in June 2020 and focuses on timely, important topics such as fighting disinformation on the front lines, press freedom under fire, democracy in the balance, global contagion of infodemics and conspiracy theories, after the coup, what's next for Myanmar, and Asian Americans unsilenced. We've featured well-known speakers around the world and EWC alumni, including Myanmar journalists speaking from safe houses while in hiding. Rami was the moderator for that excellent panel. Manila journalist Maria Ressa, a global icon for press freedom. Dr. Michael Osterholm, now President Biden's top COVID-19 advisor. And California's Congressman Ted Lieu, a leader against ethnic and racial profiling. I highly encourage you to watch these exceptional programs. I'll put the link into the chat, www.eastwestcenter.org/EWC Seminars Live. Please take a look at that page. Really good, interesting programs. So since 2015, we've offered a series of cross-border journalism programs for Indian and Pakistani journalists and journalism students, totaling about 300 participants who remain connected via thousands of WhatsApp posts. After we had to postpone workshops last year for 80 Indian and Pakistani journalists in Kathmandu, we connected them through a series of virtual dialogues and workshops, as well as social media. And the silver lining, if there is any, is that these 80 journalists will now know each other very well by the time they finally meet in Kathmandu. They also help deliver PDP to journalists in 5 Indian and Pakistani cities in the midst of the deadly surge in India and South Asia, when journalists were going out on the streets without sufficient equipment. That equipment was funded by donations collected by the University of Missouri and Parkland University journalism professors who were leading their workshops. We're very proud of all of them. We focused on water management, environmental issues for Southeast Asia journalists, providing them with training and data reporting and analysis and fact-checking. These are new directions for our journalism programs that we will continue. We offered a successful training workshop, a series of workshops for smart city technicians across America. And in September, another virtual international conference, that will be our International Media Conference, focused on our title, Connecting in a Zero Trust World. I like this title, and it's very thought-provoking. We're going to feature well-known global speakers, and I hope you will join us. More information to come with alumni soon. Our International Media Conferences, held every 2 years, attract 400 to 500 participants in past years. So this year, we will continue our excellent array of virtual programming, shift to hybrid programs, and return hopefully by the second half of next year to face-to-face programming. We plan to diversify even more by focusing on urban leaders in Southeast Asia, new and diverse journalism programs, and other activities. And one of our most exciting new chapters in the past year is programs specifically for Pacific Island journalists. And we've had some help from other program coordinators in the professional development program. These have included journalism fellowships, reporting tours on climate and disaster management, research on sustainable newsrooms, and workshops on fact-checking and data reporting. We brought the New York Times into newsrooms across the Pacific. And next month, we are organizing a press conference between Hawaii's congressional members and Pacific Island journalists. Upcoming programs in the next year will focus on radio journalism and media's responsibility as watchdogs on government spending and fiscal accountability. With increased attention on the Pacific Islands, we expect these programs for Pacific Island journalists to grow, and we are very excited. I'm proud of what we've accomplished in this past year. I'm excited about future programming. And I'm now going to hand over the stage to one of our excellent program coordinators, Liz Dorn, who can speak about some of our unique and most successful programs. And viewers, please, if you have questions, please pop them into Q&A and we'll do our best to answer them. So Liz, handing it over to you. Thanks.
Aloha everyone from the East-West Center, and thank you, Susan. My name is Liz A. Dorn, and I will be speaking about a few additional media and non-media seminar programs. The first, the U.S. Presidential Election Reporting Seminar, a 12-day travel seminar, transitioned to an entirely virtual one in 2020. The 2020 U.S. Pres Seminar brought together 10 international journalists representing 7 countries to virtually observe and report on the past historic election. Journalists examined American governmental structures, electoral processes, and civil society engagement from the perspective of swing states and Washington, D.C. They virtually met with 35 expert speakers while exploring 7 key election issues. They also engaged with 43 American voters of varying demographics living in Florida, Michigan, and Ohio. And this seminar resulted in a record-setting 90 stories despite its virtual nature. So we're very proud and excited. In addition, the Senior Journalist Seminar is an immersive dialogue, study, and travel program intended to enhance public coverage, media coverage, and elevate the public debate regarding identity and religion's role and resulting impact on the public sphere. Open to 6 to 12 senior print, radio, broadcast, online, and photojournalists from the U.S. and countries with substantial Muslim populations, the 2021 seminar will run as a 7-day virtual program in September and will include speakers, religious leaders, community activists, and fellow journalists from 2 cities in the U.S. and at least 1 in Southeast Asia. We encourage you to look for the upcoming application announcement by the end of this month. Other non-media programs include the Center's Only program, targeting female business owners and social entrepreneurs, the Changing Faces Women's Leadership Seminar, and Gals with Lay, which have collectively built some of the Center's strongest local Hawaii partnerships. In March 2021, Gals with Lay went global by offering bi-monthly virtual webinars addressing today's critical issues, identifying innovative solutions, and building networks of support amongst women business and social entrepreneurs. Recent webinars have featured such speakers as Haida Totochin, Senior Advisor to the Assistant Secretary for Indian Affairs and a member of the Navajo Nation, and Anita Bhatia, Assistant Secretary General and Deputy Executive Director of United Nations Women. For more information, I encourage you to visit www.eastwestcenter.org/galswithlay. Our next Gals with Lay global webinar will be September 16th. Thank you again. Please, as Susan mentioned, feel free to drop us questions or ask us again for those URL links, and mahalo for joining us both.
Aloha. I am Jeff Fox, Acting Director of Research. You might have noticed that they saved the oldest and the best for last. I have been at the East West Center since 1985 as a researcher. And as everyone else has said, I think the major accomplishment of anyone in the East West Center over the last year has just been surviving in this virtual world without being able to work from our office. And let me give you a couple examples. Since January of this year, we have given 45 presentations in various virtual formats and interviews. We have published 23 articles in various formats, including software development. And we have 9 new adjunct fellows, and we have hired 6 new project assistants and specialists. We have brought in 2 new grants worth about $300,000, and we have 7 grants proposals pending. In terms of next year, I am most happy, most excited about the fact we're hiring 6 new people. They are all people with deep experience in the Asia Pacific region. We're hiring someone with deep experience in mainland Southeast Asia, someone that knows insular in Southeast Asia, Indonesia in particular, someone who knows the Mekong and the problem of the dams and the interactions with China. We're going in a whole new area, and we're hiring 2 people from Oceania. We've never done anything in Oceania. We are working with Mary Hattori on not combining, but collaborating research and a PIDP. And we will be hiring someone from South Asia as well. So now let me tell you about what some of the few things we've been doing. First slide there, Jamin. Okay. The United Nations Expert Group on Population and Sustainable Development has invited Senior Fellow Andrew Mason to be their keynote speaker at their expert meeting later this month. His collaborator Sang-Hop Lee, who is a joint appointee of EWC and UH, and Gretchen Donholmer from the University of California at Berkeley, have also been invited to give talks on their project entitled the National Transfer Account Project, which is a global project looking at how nations around the world are preparing to support their aging populations. Next slide. Dr. Panwanyokin is a fellow we hired in 2018. She's originally from Thailand, has a PhD in economics from American University in DC. Her work focuses on migration from rural areas in Thailand, Cambodia, and Nepal, and the people left behind, primarily the children and the parents, the old. She is primarily interested in how migration affects women's empowerment. Next slide. Jamin. Now here is an adjunct fellow, Kevin Woods, but we've just hired him as one of our new fellows. Kevin has a PhD from the University of California, Berkeley, and his research explores how crop booms and busts, rubber, bananas, cassava, etc., in mainland Southeast Asia are tied to Chinese markets and demands, and how these changes are affecting land tenure security, indigenous rights, as well as how they intersect with climate risk, conflict, and cooperation. Next slide. Senior fellow Samit Saxena conducts interdisciplinary research on environmental risk and air pollution, and has done interesting work on how peri-urbanizations, the areas are not yet urban but are no longer rural, when you have a rice field right up next to a factory, have an impact on emerging infectious diseases. His first experience was with avian influenza, but he's now gone on to COVID. He's done interesting work now on Nepal's forest recovery between 92 and 2016, and showing that there's been an almost doubling of forest cover, and his work has quantified the biophysical and socioeconomic variables associated with these changes. I believe that the East West Center ESS research program continues strongly to do high quality research work in collaboration with our colleagues in the region. We are a growing program. We are hiring new researchers, and we are bringing in new grants. Thank you. Mahalo.
All right. We hope you learned a lot about the East West Center today and the next 60 years. I know that is a lot of information. You guys are probably a little bit mind-boggled about all that, but everyone has been putting links into the chat, so do click into those. And of course, we're all connected through direct messaging here on the Welcome platform. So if you have further questions, just go ahead and direct message people and say, hey, I'd like to learn about this. Or if you want to be able to help and collaborate, definitely reach out to all of those East West Center staff. An amazing amount of things. I'm still just getting goosebumps thinking about how much things have grown in the past 12 years that I've been associated with the East West Center. So thank you so much to the staff for telling us about what's happening there. And now it's up to all of you, ohana and alumni, to take it even further, at least spread the word about what's happening, even if it's something that you might not want to participate in yourself. All right, we're going to do a final run of the show and the agenda for the rest of the day, which actually is getting away from us. We're pretty much close to the end, actually. We've already done the awards presentation, our core conversations about disinformation and pandemics, and we just did the EWC programs today. The last thing we have is reconnection rooms. That's by chapters and geographical areas and by a couple decades. And Oyanga will take it up from here.
Yes. Okay, now it's time for our third and final session for day 2. It's time to reconnect with your friends and fellow alumni around the world. We're going into reconnection rooms on another platform, Zoom. These rooms are informal spaces to hang out with friends. Today, they're based on program and chapters and regions. Yesterday, you'll remember they were based on decades. Some alumni wanted to repeat it, so the decades group of 1960s and 70s will re-meet again. And you are welcome to join any room of any program or region. You are not limited to just your own. So click in and out of room so you can see what's happening. Mahalo to our hosts who you will see in some of these rooms. And we'll post the Zoom link in the chat very quickly. I'm personally so looking forward to seeing all my Changing Faces Women's Leadership Program alumni, 15, and Liz Dorn, our program coordinator at that time. And I'm also my Mongolian alumni friends who are doing a wonderful job in Mongolia while I'm here in Honolulu. Raimi, how about you?
Yeah, I have to say that since it's nearing the end, I'm feeling a little bit sad about this, but it has been a great last 2 days with you, Oyanga, and with everyone who's been joining in. I think we had more than 600 participants over the course of 2 days sign up. So that is phenomenal. And hopefully we'll see even more people in Hawaii next year. But before that, we do have a few ways to stay in touch in the next few weeks, the next few months, and into 2022 in the summer when you'll get onto that plane to fly to Honolulu. So definitely let's keep our fingers crossed that everything will be safe and sane for us to get on those planes.
Yeah, so looking ahead 2 weeks, the East West Center is hosting another virtual summit called Gen Squared Leadership in a Time of Change. The summit will happen on July 28th to 30th. If you're in Asia Pacific, it will be July 29th to 31st. It will bring people together across generations of East-West Center. The themes are lined up with this conference: misinformation in the media, climate change, and inclusive leadership. Gen Squared will facilitate peer-to-peer collaboration, professional development, leadership learning, and inspiration and opportunities to connect again.
Right. And those who normally come to the East West Center alumni conferences, you're probably asking, where's the talent show, right? Where do we get to sing or dance? Well, the East West Center did not forget. You see also on your screen that Zoomathon in August, and that's going to be a one-day affair where you actually get to go ahead and do that talent show. So you check your emails soon because you're going to get an invitation to share your talent. That could be anything from practicing the ukulele, or actually practicing before you perform the ukulele, or it could be maybe perhaps showing off your culinary skills, maybe that special dish that you made way back when you were in the kitchens of the Hale Manoa dorm, or it could also be your favorite Hawaiian song or dance that you've been practicing for a while. It'll also be a fundraiser for the East West Center, and it's going to be, again, over the course of a day. So check your emails for that over the next few days or so, and start practicing there. Meantime, we want to give a big thank to the East West Center Conference staff who have been here with us behind the scenes. While all of you have only seen the main event, we actually see a bunch of faces in front of our screens here. And if we could just put your faces up here, guys, led by Christina Monroe, Jamin Laupolo, Carolyn Iguchi, Maloney Gandhi,
Okay, here we
and
go.
Noreen Tanuri. They all are.
Hello.
Smile and say hi, give a shaka, and
Hi,
give a clap to
everybody.
everyone here. Thank you so much. Not just over the past 2 days, guys, right? This has been over the past few months that these folks have been laboring here as well. In addition, we want to do some more acknowledgments for some chat monitors behind the scenes. Thank you to Patrick, Sharon, Ty, Catherine, Justina, Kelly, and Mari. So this has been a huge, wonderful labor of love and passion for the East West Center that I know all of you feel around the world for this ohana. And looking ahead, while this is our official end for seeing our faces, Oyanga and myself, it's not over yet, so don't click away. We're going to head to the reconnection rooms. These are the reunions that you can have for the pauhana. The link is now being posted in the chat, so go on over to the chat on your right-hand side, click that link, and we're going to see you over there. We'll reconnect you more casually in Zoom, get a quick refresh, get a coffee or a glass of wine or a beer if you need. Click that link. And Oyanga, I think now is the time that we say mahalo and aloha, right?
Right. So again, thank you everyone for joining for the second day, and maybe for those who came today. Really appreciate having you here, and all the experts and everybody was wonderful here. So just so thankful for your presence here. That was the biggest gift to all of us. So again, thank you for joining, and we will see you in Zoom very soon.
Yes, click the link right now. All right, everyone, take care. Shaka's
Okay,
out there
see
in
you
love.
soon again. Bye-bye.
Mm.